Hi everyone, I'm Jacy from Craft Life, and I'm here today to teach you how to make a Rainbow Loom mini tablet case. I've had so many requests to make this tutorial, so here it is. The supplies you will need are 2 looms, rubber bands, today I'm using purple, black, pink, and green, and a Rainbow Loom hook or crochet hook. So please get your supplies and get ready for step 1. This is step 1. Please take your looms apart. I already have mine taken apart, so please pause the video, take your looms apart, and press play when you're ready. Now we're ready to set up our looms. You're going to take your first 2 rows, turn them so that they're both pointing to the left. On your second row, you're going to count out 6 pegs. On your 6th peg, you're going to place your blue piece, your small blue piece, right on your 6th peg. Now do the same for the other side, but this way they're going to be pointing to the right. Do it on its 6th peg and push them down. Now you're going to take your big blue piece and you're going to leave an equal amount of space between these 2 pegs and these 2 pegs. And do the same for the other side. And now, on the other end, you're going to place your small blue piece. So this is how your looms should be set up. Now we're going to start laying X's. So you're going to start on these 2 pegs, push it down. These 2 pegs, push it down. And you're going to go down to your 9th peg. Now, this is your 9th peg. On your 10th peg, you're going to skip these 2 pegs in total and continue from there. And this will be your charger hole. If you don't want a charger hole, then you can keep laying X's all the way down. Now do your last 2. Now we're going to lay X's from peg to peg all the way down. Starting on these 2 pegs, you're going to take a rubber band, make an X from peg to peg, and continue all the way down. Remember, don't lay anything on these 2 pegs, and keep going. Now make sure they're all pushed down. This row becomes your bottom row. And now we're going to make our top row. So, starting on these 2 pegs, we're going to start laying rubber bands normally to make our top row. So just lay them normally, and you're going to go all the way around your 2 looms. And when you get to your charger hole pegs, you're just going to lay them down all the way around. Now, before we bring our bottom loops over the top, I found a rubber band that was about to break. So if you find any rubber bands about to break, you can just fix them out, fix them around, like that. Now we have a bottom row and a top row, and you're going to take your hook and grab your bottom loops over the top and all your pegs. The end pegs will have 2 rubber bands, and the rest of the pegs will have 3. Push them down as you go, because this row becomes our bottom row. On these, you're just going to leave them alone. Just push them down and continue. Again, just push them down and keep going. Now this row becomes our bottom row, and we're going to lay another top row. So starting on these 2 pegs again, we're going to go all the way around laying our rubber bands. Now we have a bottom row and a top row, and on every peg we're going to bring our bottom 2 loops over the top. Starting on this peg, go all the way around your loom, bringing your bottom loops over the top. And push them down as you go. On your charger hole pegs, you're going to do the same thing. Bring your bottom 2 over the top and keep going. We have just done 2 rows together, and you want to have 7 rows in total for the bottom. So please do 5 more rows of laying your rubber bands in a counterclockwise rotation. Then you're going to bring your bottom loops over the top in a clockwise rotation and push them down as you go. I'll be right back. I just finished my 5 more rows, and as you can see, I changed color after every 5 rows. So you should have a total of 7 rows for your bottom. Now we're going to open it up for the middle. So count 4 pegs on this side. On your 4th peg, you're going to stick your hook in, grab your bottom loop over the top and onto the peg in front of it. Grab your bottom loop over the top and onto the peg in front of it. And I know that these are our bottom loops because they hook the loops behind them. So check yours as you go, and you're going to go to the 4th peg on the other side. I'm at my 4th peg, so push these down. Well, actually, don't push them down. You're going to take them off. So take them off. And make sure on your 4th peg you don't take it off. You should be able to count 4 pegs with rubber bands on them on each side. But the rest you can just take right off. Remember, leave 4 pegs with rubber bands on them. Now we're going to lay rubber bands again. Make sure you have all your loops pushed down because this becomes our bottom row. So starting on our 4th peg on this side, you're just going to go all the way around. But do not go on your empty pegs. Now we have a bottom row and a top row. And what you want to do is take your bottom loops over the top. This peg will have 3 rubber bands, and this peg will have 1, and the rest will have 2. So bring your bottom loops over the top starting on this peg. Grab these 3, 2, 2, and keep going. Now make sure they're all pushed down because this becomes your bottom row, and we're going to lay another top row all the way around, except for the empty pegs. So start on this peg and go all the way around. Now we have a bottom row and a top row. And what you're going to do is take your bottom loops over the top. Your end pegs will have one rubber band and the rest will have two. So go all the way around, bringing your bottom loops over the top. Make sure they're all pushed down. And we have just done 2 rows together. And you want to have 26 rows in total for the screen. So please do 24 more rows of laying your rubber bands in a counterclockwise rotation. But don't go on your empty pegs. And then you're going to bring your bottom loops over the top in a clockwise rotation. And remember, don't do your empty pegs. And push them down as you go. I'll be right back. I just finished my 24 more rows and now I have 26 rows in total for the screen. And now we're ready to close off our screen. So you're going to start on this side of your loom. And you're going to go all the way around, even on your empty pegs. And remember, even go on your empty pegs. Now we have a bottom row and a top row. And what you want to do is take your bottom loops over the top. And you're just going to leave your empty pegs alone. And when you get to them, you're just going to push them down. So grab your bottom loops over the top on all of these. Just push them down, all the way down. And grab that one bottom loop there. Just that one bottom loop. So now on these, you just can't leave them sitting there. So we're going to hook them through. Just grab your bottom loop over the top on your 4th peg and go back down to your 4th peg on the other side. You're only grabbing that one rubber band, so it's very simple. Now this row becomes our bottom row, and we're going to lay another top row. Now we have a bottom row and a top row, and what you're going to do is take your bottom row over the top. Starting on this peg, you're going to go all the way around your loom. And remember to push them down as you go. And on these, just grab your 2 loops on your peg over the top on all of them. And remember to push them down. This peg has 3 rubber bands on it, so bring them all over the top. So we have just done 2 rows at the top in total, and you want to have 6 rows in total. So please do 4 more rows of laying your rubber bands in a counterclockwise rotation, then bringing your bottom loops over the top in a clockwise rotation, and then pushing them down as you go. I'll be right back. I just finished my 4 more rows, and now I have 6 rows at the top. Now we're ready to close off the whole case. So, we're going to make X's like we did in the beginning. And you're just going to go all the way down, but do not push them down. You don't want them to get mixed in with the bottom row. Now we're going to do X's from peg to peg all the way down. Now we have a bottom row and a top row, and you're going to take your bottom 2 loops over the top on each peg. So starting on this peg, you're going to go all the way around doing this. Now you want to push them down on this side. Now we're ready to hook them all the way around. Now we're ready to hook. So you're going to turn it around. You're going to start on these two pegs. So you're going to grab your bottom loop over the top and onto the peg next to it on this peg. And I can tell that that was my bottom loop because it hooked the loop behind it. Now grab your bottom loop, put it on the peg in front of it, and you need to keep checking your loops to make sure that the loop you bring over hooks all the loops behind it. So go all the way around your loom, hooking it. And just to make it easier for myself, I separated the bottom loop from the top loops. If this happens to you, you want to keep your rubber bands on, so try to put them back on. But since I'm taking it off anyways, I'm just going to finish hooking this row. Now you're going to take 2 rubber bands, pull them through, and pull 2 loops through the other 2 loops. Now I'm going to help my loops off, but before you do that, you just want to check to make sure each one is hooked properly. And then you can start taking it off your loom. Now, as you can see, my looms are falling apart pretty bad, but you don't have to worry about it because your project is coming off the loom. Now you can stretch your top loops out. Stretch these down. And you're done. This is what it looks like when it's done. And it does fit the mini iPad. I did add a charger hole with you, but if you would like to add a camera hole, please watch my tutorial on how to make a phone case with a camera hole and a charger hole. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you make some, I'd love to see them. My Instagram is CraftLifeUSA, so please tag me in a photo. And don't forget to like us on Facebook, pin it on Pinterest, and subscribe right here on YouTube. I hope you're living a craft life just like me. Thanks for watching. Bye!